Hello and welcome back to another The Walking Dead The Ones Who Live video, and today I want to do some death predictions on this show because a lot of actors are being a bit candid on what's really going to happen to their characters by the end of the show, and I really want to talk about how I think this is going to play out for these characters and who's still going to be around by the closing credits of episode 6. So let's jump right into this with Nat. And really, we do not know much about this character other than he will have a close relationship with Michonne. They'll be close friends. And according to IMDb, he's only in episode 1, it seems. So far, it could change in episode 6. I believe he is safe. I don't think they'll kill him off. I think that he's a character that will come back in episode 6. Maybe he's just there to bookend the story for Michonne. I don't think they're going to introduce this new character and then just suddenly kill him off. Moving on to Bailey and Aiden, I'm going to tell these characters together because we'll introduce them together. I think they're both going to die. I think they only exist and are in this show because of continuity. We saw them in Michonne's last episode. It'll make sense to pick up Michonne with them still around. I think that is why they're here. And they're the same. According to IMDb, they're only in episode 1 of the first 3 that reviewers have seen. So it seems that we are not going to be seeing much of these characters, and I believe that they're going to die in the mustard gas. I think the mustard gas scene's in episode 1. We know Michonne's in that scene, and I think Michonne's going to survive. Nat's probably going to survive or not going to be in that situation, and those two characters are just going to die to give Michonne this extra incentive and this extra thing against the CRM. They didn't just steal Rick, they've now killed her friends. Moving on to Major General Beale, and he's 100% safe. I think Major General Beale is more safe than Rick and Michonne, and that is because they've spent so long building up the CRM Major General Beale. It makes no sense to have him for 6 episodes and then kill him off. And if there's a second season, you've just killed off your main villain. And if there's not a second season, we know there's a big crossover spin-off coming off. It makes sense for Major General Beale to be the big bad of that. So Major General Beale will not die. This will just be his introduction season, and by the end of the season they're probably just going to overthrow him, or something's going to unstable the CRM, and that's where we'll pick up Major General Beale again, with this now kind of unstable CRM and him being a bit more dangerous. So Major General Beale 100% safe. However, Donald Okafor will not be safe. I believe this character is going to die, and he'll probably be the big bad guy death by the end of the season. You can't kill off Major General Beale, but you can kill off his henchmen. Like, we know he's going to be maybe a high-ranking official. Maybe he's a replacement to Elizabeth Kubik. So, I think he's definitely going to die. Maybe Rick kills him. I just don't see him surviving into a potential season 2 or surviving into one of the spin-offs. He's just a character that I believe is just here to be cannon fodder because you can't kill off the big bad. And moving on to Jadis, and she's a very tricky character to pinpoint on. Do I think she's going to die or survive? Because of there's so many possibilities of what they're going to do with the CRM story. If this is a 1 season and done, I'm leaning more towards, okay, you've told the CRM story, you no longer need Jadis, she's going to die and Michonne will kill her. But because Scott Gimple is being the most, dodgy with, oh, maybe it's possible, but then you have everyone else being like, oh, I finished filming my 6-episode limited series, let's move on. It is very confusing on what's really happening with the CRM after this show. I'm leaning more towards if there is going to be a season 2, and if the big crossover that Scott Gimple's planning does happen, Jadis will survive because she still has a role to play if the CRM continue. And moving on to Thorne, I think she's safe. She is going to be Rick's, inside the CRM friend. I just don't see them killing her off. The only way they would do it is if she sacrificed herself to help Rick escape. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they will have Thorne, struggling with wanting to be part of the CRM. She's happy to be part of the CRM, and Rick going away, and she's now like, oh, I gotta betray my friend, or what I do. I think she'll leave with Rick, there'll be a big struggle, and she decides to leave and help Rick escape, and I think she'll get a happy ending, and if there's a season 2, she'll carry on there, and if there's no season 2, I think she'll be in the big crossover spin-off. So I believe that Thorne is safe. But moving on to Rick Grimes himself, I think he's safe. I don't think they could kill off Rick. Andrew Lincoln in one of his interviews did tease, but I'd like for both of us to survive something like that. I think he was just kind of joking. Rick is going to be around. The actor Andrew Lincoln really wants to get back into the role of being Rick Grimes. He's missed it. He jokes about his kids wanting him to leave the house and not talking to him till he goes back to work. I think Andrew Lincoln wants to be around in this universe for a couple more years. He's had his time away, he's watched his kids grow up a little, now he wants to get back to work. And even if this is only 6 episodes, there's no season 2, we have that big crossover Gimple wants to do so Rick can be in there. And I think they could just jump Rick around, throw him into a couple of the spin-offs for a bit, and then have him go into this big crossover if there's no season 2. So Rick is safe just because of how much Andrew Lincoln wants to come back to the role. But Michonne, I believe there's a chance she could die. I'm going to put her as a maybe. And that's because we know the final episode apparently has a good ending, but could have a hint of sadness. And they've been saying this is a love story. It could be a tragic love story. It could be something like that, like Romeo and Juliet. That could be what they're trying to go with this show, having it be that tragic love story. Because I think Denai, she's okay coming back from Michonne, but she wants to do some more directing and writing and stuff like that, and she was allowed to do that on this show. She's able to write episode 4. But I think her coming back to this role is a lot more limited than Andrew Lincoln. I think Andrew Lincoln wants to come back for maybe 5 more years, something like that. But I think Denai is back for this, and if there is a season 2, she'll come back for that. But I do not think she will make it out of this show alive. We know there's a big crossover spin-off in planned. I think Andrew Lincoln will go to that. But Denai, if this is 6 episodes, I believe they could kill her off. And that could be the thing to push Rick to be like, okay, we now need to get everyone together to do the big Avengers team-up crossover. And as always, just remember, this is just my personal opinion, so please tell me down below, what do you think about these death predictions? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts down below? Because a lot of my things really depend on, is there a season 2 or not? And do I see this character, if there's no season 2, go into this potential crossover that Gimple keeps talking about? So let's know all your thoughts down below. But goodbye, peace out, I'll talk to you later.